we are live.
Sweet.
Maybe we can do a little cut down. Hello. Good
Hey,
afternoon.
how's it going?
Oh, I see you have a little friend with you. So
Yeah,
cute.
yeah, Diablo's here. He'll run away in just a second, I'm sure. Oh, there he
Oh
goes.
my.
That
He
was
doesn't
that was
like
his cameo. Yeah.
he doesn't like the camera.
No, no, no. He's more of a behind the scenes dog.
So how are you? Thank you so much for this interview.
Yeah, no, I'm great. Thanks so much for having me. It's been a pretty exciting week. I know the people at Jenny Dow we're right we're right there. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's been exciting. And I had another release this week of a kind of a collector's transformation, as I've been calling it. So that was really
Nice.
fun too. And yeah, just exciting times around.
Perfect. Perfect. So, Michael, I have a few questions for you. So, first of all, I'm going to introduce myself. So, my name is Lucie. I'm French, and I'm working for Jenny Dao from Uniquely. I'm their CMO, and I'm willing to hear a bit more about you. If you can just introduce yourself for the people who doesn't know you.
Cool. Yeah, so my name's Mad Dog Jones is my artist name. My real name is Misha Dobak. And I've been making visual art pretty much my whole life and music throughout as well. So, oh, sorry, Diablo, come here, buddy. Um, he'll stop. Um, yeah, so just pretty much been in like art and music since I was growing up. My my family is a very artistic family. My mom's a writer, a poet. My father does photography and painting and all kinds of stuff like that. And yes, I just kind of grew up around art. And then me and my brother have been kind of like doing graffiti since we were teenagers. And now he's working with me. Just 1 second, half a second. Sorry.
No
Anyways, so
problem.
sorry, my brother just left and the dog just kind of wants to see him. So I just got to go grab him. My bad. Yeah, so kind of just like kind of been an artistic family. Like my brother was working with my dad doing stained glass for years. And now we've kind of like brought back the family business where I'm working with my brother and my dad on producing um art and bigger art pieces and projects. And it's yeah, it's like pretty homegrown. And I live in my hometown of Thunder Bay, which is kind of like a small town in Ontario, which is a province in Canada. And
Nice.
yeah, just kind of like forest life and then take off to the city here and there when I can.
Nice. And so I saw that before you were more into the music industry, right?
Yeah.
So my question
Yeah.
is, how did you? Yeah, tell me a bit more about this.
Well, I think being an artist is just being an artist, and like the form is kind of irrelevant a lot of the time. Learning how to be creative and professional in the music world really kind of set me up for success in the art world. I think it's pretty transferable kind of knowledge and skill sets. How to write a song and how to paint a painting, I don't think are too different. it's
No,
it's learning to be yourself and kind of learning what people like, and those are kind of like this intertwined path of being an artist. And I think my music career really helped me kind of like prepare and learn how to like kind of navigate these more high-end professional worlds. But yeah, I grew up as a kid playing violin, then really got into like electronic music and producing and kind of like DJ culture. I got my first turntables when I was in like grade 9. and was doing like scratching and all that kind of stuff, and just kind of like into the whole turntablism world. Got really into DJing, and then kind of got into some bands and started playing keyboards, and then
Wow.
just kind of up from there. We got signed, did a bunch of touring and all that, and then around 2017, the band was just kind of taking a little bit of time off, so I started just getting focusing more on my illustration and kind of trying to find a vibe there that I really liked. And I had this moniker Mad Dog Jones from when I was a little kid playing video games. It was like
Okay.
my video game alias. So I had that kind of forever. And then I decided to make an art page for Instagram. And then pretty much right away it started gaining traction. And then I started like locking in this new style. And then just kind of then the art career just kind of eclipsed the music career for me. So I kind of just decided to kind of pivot over, but I still work a lot with one of my longtime collaborators, Latch. Um, Makes pretty much all the music in my artworks, and I'm not gone from music forever for sure. But boy, was it a convenient couple of years to be in the art world and not the music world.
Yeah, I see. It was a kind of natural way to
Yeah.
keep, using your creativity. And so my question is, how did you start with NFTs actually? How did this
Um,
happen?
so summer of 2020, one of my friends messaged me about it and put super rare on my radar. And
Okay.
right away I was like, okay, this is interesting. And at that point, nothing was selling for what I could sell a physical for in the real world. But I decided to just keep watching it and monitoring it until if I saw a trend of it going up, then I would get interested and kind of like see if it made sense for me. And then I just started kind of like learning about the metaverse, learning about more and more about crypto. Um, and I already knew a fair amount, but kind of just getting into that world. And then yeah, slowly it just started building. Then I just made sure I went and got approved on super rare, and I did my first Nifty Gateway drop um November 21st, I believe, of
Okay.
2020. And yeah, and that was just pretty much after a mutual friend recommended me to Tommy, and Tommy hit me up, and then yeah, it was really great. And that was kind of that how that arc kind of went.
Nice. It's a nice. It's really new actually, and
Yeah, yeah,
you,
yeah, quite new. I wasn't there in 2019, like a lot of, well, or not a lot, like a handful of other artists were. But I still think that there's even the people that, like, when we look back on it, the people that even released anything in 2020 will be considered pretty early in the
yeah,
grand scheme of it.
yeah, yeah. It goes really, really fast in the metaverse.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
can't
my
believe it's been less than a year even. So it's
yeah.
crazy.
So my question is that when I saw your art, and if you're okay, maybe I can just share my screen to just show some
Yeah,
of
of
your
course. Yeah.
Instagram, because maybe some people know you, but for the people who doesn't know you, it can be nice for them, to see a bit of your art.
Sweet. Yeah, let's do it.
Do you see it?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So your style, most of I mean, from what I saw, it's a bit in a kind of Blade Runner universe. Are you agree with
Absolutely.
that? Yeah? Is it your inspiration?
Yeah.
Yeah? I love this
Um
movie. Which one is your favorite? The old
yeah,
one or the new one?
actually I kind of like them both equally. I don't really think one of them is
Mm-hmm.
significantly, well, like the original has so much character, and I have such an
Mm-hmm.
appreciation for the actual filmmaking of the first one. But then the
Mm-hmm.
second one, Denis Villeneuve and oh, I always forget the cinematographer's name. Um, oh, I hate when I forget his name. I always forget his name. But um, they're just such a great combination of filmmaker and cinematographer, and they really built that world into like a really
Yeah,
stunning world. And just visually, that film was amazing. And it didn't kind of like, it kept the tone, the slow neo noir tone. So I
this
thought they
is
were both.
amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that was awesome to get to work with Run the Jewels on that one. um but yeah, I kind of think Blade Runner is a huge inspiration. And like my other big inspiration, which it's like it's so cliche and it's everybody's big inspiration, is Akira. I don't know if you've seen Akira, but it is just, it was like that. I have a brother that's 7 years older than me, and he showed that to me when I was probably like, I don't even know, 6 or 7 years old. I saw it, and it was like pretty hyper violent for a kid that age to watch it. But
Yeah,
like, it was just the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And what's crazy is that it's still the coolest thing I've ever seen. And
this is nice.
it's such a triumph that I'm just,
Yeah,
it's definitely one of those films that I just can't get enough of and keep going back to.
yeah, because your universe is really immersing. When we saw your art, we imagine ourselves in some night in Tokyo or in Hong Kong. Is it like so? Mostly, it's from Hong Kong and Tokyo. Your inspiration from the city?
No, most of it's from Tokyo.
Yeah.
My like cityscapes that I use are mostly Japan based rather. Um, but like that one piece that we released last week, that was a collaboration with a photographer, Andy Knives,
Mm.
who's lived in Hong Kong for a long time. So that's kind of how that piece came up in particular. But the majority of it's in Japan, or a lot of it's actually like Los Angeles buildings too. Um, I kind of mix it up. Sometimes I'll like kind of dress it differently, but yeah, pretty much I just like any kind of cool looking building I love, and then I just kind of like mix and mash them all up until I find a cool combination.
Yeah, I see. This is what is amazing. Is really we are into we watch your art and we are in Japan, but not in a daily Japan. We are in a kind of night, and we can feel, that it goes fast, and there is so many opportunities, and it's a really, really nice feeling. And but
Yeah,
I have a question about that.
yeah,
In, for example, in the movie like Blade Runners, it's a city that never sees the light, right? So when we watch this movie, is it a dream or is it a nightmare? My question is, in your art, we can see, for example, sometimes some pandas, so some vegetal forms, and a lot of color. It's really, dreaming. But what do you want to transmit? Is it a kind of society that is, in the excess, or is it a kind of a dreaming society? Is it a nightmare or is
yeah.
it for you?
It's it's rarely a nightmare, and it's mostly a dream.
Nice.
I I like my art to be I like the idea of it being like kind of calming and meditative
Yeah.
more than
Anxious, maybe.
challenging.
Mm.
Yeah, challenging and anxious, and like kind of like, I don't make a lot of super visceral art. I think most of my art is really kind of soft and warm
Yeah.
and kind of like open. Um, and I think a lot of that is because like I love like kind of like the golden hour. I love
Mm.
how light plays, and like for me, so many of my artworks have a sky. I rarely deny some level of sky in my artworks, because I really want to show that like beyond, and that kind of like wonder. And like I'll like, my friends always make fun of me. I'm always just like talking about clouds. I'm like, whoa, did you guys like look at that cloud today? Or did you guys like, can we just like take a moment to just like look at these clouds? And I just like, I love a good cloud. I love a good tree. And trees are a lot more of a challenge to illustrate because there's just so much bit depth in them. But like clouds, I find are like really kind of like beautiful and like fun to illustrate and kind of like add those into the world. And so many of my works also have the moon just kind of like sitting there as a little like
Yeah, it's a lot of
illustrative counterbalance.
superposition. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so for
So yeah,
example,
yeah.
yeah, sorry, please, please.
No, 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 no. Go on.
No, so my question is, are you more sunrise or sunsets?
Oh, sunset for sure. I'm if I'm up for the sunrise, it's only on the rare occasion that I've been up all night. Um, being a totally responsible citizen, I assure everybody. Um, no, I'm a sunset person. I'm not an early riser. I'm more of a night owl for sure. And I
Mhm.
sunrises are beautiful when I catch them, but I'm just maybe I got to get better at that. But yeah, no, I'm definitely a sunset person.
So your art is more a dream. This is a really good answer and a beautiful answer. And I have another
Yeah.
question. So I check, of course, your art, and I saw that you represent a lot women. Most of the time they are sexy, but mostly they are badass. You know, they have some kind of weapons, they are powerful, they have, fierce. And I want to know why. I mean, even if it's amazing, I want to see your point of view. Why do you represent mostly women?
Yeah. Well, I have a decent amount of men in a few pieces. I have that ASAP piece that I really like and some of the Jabberwockies one. But yeah, there's definitely a lean there. Um, I just love the idea of like the kind of like the ghost in the shell, kind of just like the femme fatale, kind of like
Mm-mm.
just striking and powerful. Um,
It's
just
a
kind of
perfect
like the
answer. Huh?
yeah, and like the eyes, I find like just that like that intensity of the stare is like really what kind of like always kind of draws you in. And when I started making artwork, I was kind of some of my work was um a bit more sexy, I guess, in my earlier days. But I've really kind of moved away from that because I never want my art to feel like I'm it's like because it can be like a cheat code sometimes to be like, oh, just like add a
Mm,
sexy girl and it like makes the art automatically great. But I like to
mm,
find that balance where I can like really it's there for a reason and it's also like you want to know more about the character and not just like look at it and be like, oh my god, that's hot or like that's I think there's a balance there that's important for me personally to find.
yeah, but when I saw it, of course they were sexy, but we could feel, the kind of attitude and the power they had. So I think your message is well transmitted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks. I try really hard to find that balance, and like the piece of mine, a bag of oranges. That one's I love how it's my friend Kitty Akita, who's an amazing artist and just woman in general. And like she's just wearing like the big baggy hoodie, and she's got like the little backpack
I
on, and
love
she's like
it.
kind of just like doing the over the shoulder
I
look, and
love
it's just
it.
like
Yeah.
I love like baggy clothing and like that was just like such a sweet spot for me because she just has such a cool intense stare and then just kind of it that one just really fell together perfectly.
And you wanted just to capture this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
And also the other part of that is that um during COVID I just haven't been able to work with as many models and
Mm-hmm.
like my friends are you like I don't have as many friends in the small town that I live in so when I'm back in the big city, maybe I'll do more collaborations. I've got some kind of bigger projects that I've wanted to do with like a whole bunch of characters. So hopefully
Oh,
I'll find a time to get that together. Yeah.
nice. If you come to Paris, I'm here.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. That was the last place I visited before the lockdown. I was there for Paris Fashion Week.
Oh, nice.
I did a
Yeah,
collaboration with Natasha Zinko, who's an awesome Ukrainian designer, and that was really awesome. Yeah.
great. So a lot of projects are coming, no?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Too much, but I'll find a way to get it all done.
I'm sure. But as you know, you kind of mark the history of NFTs with the replicator. Uh,
Yeah.
you sold it at 4.1 million. That's right.
Yep. Yep. That's
Wow.
accurate. Yeah.
This is why, yeah, it's a record. Were you expected
Yeah.
this kind of success, or because it's amazing? I think I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you. Can we try to do the mic? Mitchell, I cannot hear you.
Yeah. Mm. Hello. Sorry, we have a little problem. Yeah, we have a little problem. Can you hear me? I cannot hear you. Hello. Oh my god, so cute. Can you hear me? I cannot hear you. Okay. Can you hear me? No. One minute. Can you hear me?
No. I don't know what happened. And now? No? Doesn't work? Okay, 1 minute. Can you hear me? No? Really strange. Yeah, you can hear me, but I cannot hear you. Can you try?
There we go. We're back now.
Oh, what happened? I don't know. So sorry.
I don't know. You weren't working and my mic was on, and then you came back on. Then it auto turned my mic on. Technology. We'll never
Okay,
understand it.
yeah. Yes, so I missed the most important part about the replicator. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. So pretty much, it just it's just this perfect like kind of confluence of my it's like high concept because the photocopy machine is like kind of this piece of technology that was so beautiful
Yes,
and new when it first came out. Then it became normalized, then it became almost hated. And I think it's
yes,
really cool to reflect back on a piece of technology that was so coveted and groundbreaking at the time. Well, we're in this moment with NFTs where we're in this moment of a new piece of technology that everybody's in love with. But like, what will it look like in 20 years? Will we still love it, or will it be like the photocopier where we're like, oh my god, I hate
oh,
these things, you know? So I think it's just important to like reflect on the arc of technology and to be able to do that with a really crazy custom smart contract designed by Manifold, Richard and Wilkins, is just a kind of a real treat because the whole thing kind of comes together and like how the mechanics of the actual project work. Like when it replicates, it can create a next generation that replicates, or it can jam and create a piece that cannot replicate any longer. So that it has these mechanics like a real photocopier does. Like it's kind of like owning it is kind of this like crapshoot of whether it works or not. So I think that's kind of a really cool dynamic for like a piece of NFT art to really kind of like live and
the
breathe in the
yes,
space. Yeah.
It was no, it was
Yeah,
really
and like as an artist, it's
not
crazy
a
because I'm
job.
like, how am I gonna top this? Because it feels like I'm still over the moon about it. It's still really cool. So yeah, I'm really happy with that.
Mm, yeah, and the owner must be really happy
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
too.
yeah,
It's a really really amazing way to put it in perspective.
yeah,
The photocopy, who is an old way to print, with an NFT, with a digital art. So
yeah.
really
So
smart.
the owner's very secretive, but they have sold one piece of the project, and it
Yeah.
sold for 35 ETH, and that was a jam piece too. So there's theoretically they could still sell a live piece from that
Mm-mm.
project that could still like replicate. So that will be interesting to see if that happens. But who knows? That's the reality of it. Is like I sold it to somebody now. They have control of where those downstream pieces go. So that's kind of another intriguing part of it.
And about your art, I don't know if you know, but Jenny DAO, the community really really love it, and we
Yeah,
try to get your last pieces, vertical ascension, your last work in
yeah,
from Hong Kong.
yeah,
Yeah, we tried our best, but we didn't succeed. My
yeah,
question is, imagine if one day you will do a piece of art, an exclusive piece of art for uJenny. So, some artists does this for it. What would it be? Regarding the fact that our universe is mostly the aviation and feminine, if you have just a little idea, what it would be?
yeah. You know, I like I, I make art in such a kind of like organic, fluid way. Like I kind of go out in the world and I observe, and then I kind of like bring it back, and then I kind of just kind of like let things flow. So I don't really
Mm-hmm.
have a very specific way, but I think like and maybe it's just your purple background that's kind of messing with my brain, but I'm also working on some really cool kind of like purple and pink projects right now. And I think it would be I love like that like for me like I think like what color is the piece? Like that's almost like where I start. Like people start at different points, but like I love a kind of like like the kind of the last minutes of golden hour, like the last catches of light, kind of
Mm-hmm.
like into a cool, um, kind of like something that's alive but quiet. You know, like I love to. That's what I love. Like kind of like these urban city centers because you remove all the characters from them,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's so much happening but nobody there, and I just love those kinds of moments. Um, but that being said, maybe this is time to bring in a character into the universe too. Because you know, I love drawing characters as well. So that would be the to be decided part is to have a character or no character. But yeah, I definitely think there would be something cool, and maybe it might move into the nighttime. I could see it being a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more of a nighttime vibe too. Yeah.
Nice.
Not broad daylight though. It's either like on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
last minute of sunset or into the night. One of the two.
Like the picture, the piece of art in the background that I put, it's we are
Yeah.
agree that it is a beautiful end of the day light, right?
Yeah.
On a
Yeah.
beautiful building. Yeah. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
The golden
That was right in
hour.
the yeah, that was very golden hour for sure.
So nice.
Yeah.
So we hope the community hope that one day you will maybe do some exclusive art for us.
Yeah.
People
Well, yeah,
inspire.
I'd love to talk more about that for sure.
We will. We will. Okay. So thank you so much. It was a real pleasure to talk with you, and
Oh,
hopefully
likewise. So nice to meet you.
we will meet one day if you come to Paris or
Yeah.
maybe in Japan soon.
Oui, la prochaine fois que je vais en
La
France,
prochaine fois, oui,
ouais,
tu m'écris.
ouais,
No, and thank you for all the people who watch us, and we cannot wait to see you growing and see all your art and your next art, and being in your universe is like a
yeah,
dream for
yeah,
the final word. Thank you again.
Sweet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.